I really like using Findagrave to research more information on my ancestors. I could take a picture of my grandfather's headstone, open up Findagrave, create a login, and put his name and information and where the cemetery is and information about his birth and death. I could even put a picture of him on there, his obituary. But the wonderful thing I like about it is I could also add any relatives that I know of and link their gravesite to this one and any children or parents or spouse. A lot of people put their genealogy on Findagrave. Let's look at one and see if we can find some more information. I'm going to go to Franklin Wilson McClendon. Usually, Findagrave record hints come up right here, but Family Search hasn't found one for Franklin, so I'm going to search in Family Search to see if I see one. I see that there is a Findagrave entry for a Frank W. McClendon. That's pretty close to Franklin Wilson McClendon. Born 1889, died 1960 in Mississippi. That seems to match the information I have on Franklin. I'm going to go ahead and open the index page, and I'm going to review and attach. Now I can review the information on the index record right here, but I'd really like to look at the actual image on the Findagrave website. I'll click this link here. Here is a website for Frank W. McClendon. The dates are correct and the location is correct. His wife is correct according to what I have on Family Search, and one of his children. Whoever put this information in knew him well enough that they had an obituary on him. This is wonderful because now I can see who his sisters married or a little bit more about him. I also know a maiden name for his spouse. These are web page links. I can click on Mary Ida Gatlin. It will tell me her information and whatever someone has put in, her parents' information, her siblings and children. So this is how people build genealogies right on Findagrave. The person who put this information in was Marshall Parker. He must be a relative of this common ancestor of ours. Since I don't have this information that's found on the obituary in Family Search, I'm going to copy that. Go into Family Search. I like to add it on the life sketch because a lot of times obituaries do have a life sketch, and save. Sometimes I will say something like, obituary found on Findagrave.com. Save. To give credit for where I located that. Back to Findagrave. I find that about 8 times out of 10 there's information on Findagrave. And if it's put in by a family member, then you get a lot more information. However, if it's put in by the sexton of the cemetery or a volunteer Boy Scout group or another volunteer group, you won't get quite the information, but you'll get the picture usually of the headstone or the listing. What I like to do is to look at the whole cemetery for any McClendons. So it says, would you like to see more McClendons in the Florence Cemetery? These other cemeteries are surrounding cemeteries where relatives might be as well. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Florence Cemetery. I see that 2 McClendons besides Frank are buried there in that cemetery. There's Pearl McClendon, McFarland, and Dolphus McClendon. As I look back on Family Search to see if there is a Pearl and a Dolphus related to him, I don't see them as children, but I do see a Pearl McClendon who is a sibling to Franklin, and a Dolphus who may be Dolphus. So I do find a Pearl McClendon When I click on her, I don't see that anyone has found a spouse for her. But on Findagrave, her last name was McFarlane. So this particular site might know about a spouse for Pearl. I'm going to click on Pearl's site. It tells me more detailed information about her, maybe more than I already had on Family Search, so I can update. It says that Pearl is the daughter of John Chambers and Louisa Davis McClendon, so that's the correct parents. So this is Franklin's sister. I can click on William B. McFarland and add this information to Family Tree. I'm going to click on this box up in the upper right-hand corner. It's like a shadow box. If I click on that, that diminishes the page half screen. Then I can click on this Family Search page and bring it over on the other half. Now, side by side, I have the information on William B. McFarland. I can click on Add a Spouse. Now I can either type in his name and information here, or I can do a copy and a paste. I'll fill this information in later, real soon. Now I'd like to go back to Franklin's details page and link that Findagrave record to Franklin in his sources. I'll click on Family Search. I'll find that record again and click on Review and Attach. I'll compare the information on Findagrave with the information on Family Tree about Franklin, and I'll attach this. It's as simple as that. I hope you take the opportunity to put the information about your relative on Findagrave, and that you'll be able to search for information that others have put on your relatives and add that to Family Tree.